A woman, named Elena, sat peacefully in her seat, gently nursing her infant under a cozy blanket. The low hum of the airplane's engines filled the cabin, a soothing backdrop to the quiet of the evening flight. It was a quiet night in first class, where passengers were either reading or lost in their phones, none of them paying much attention to her. Elena wasn't expecting to be noticed, certainly not confronted. She simply wanted a moment of peace with her baby, Maya. Then a voice cut through the stillness. "Excuse me, ma'am, that's not allowed here." The flight attendant, a woman named Erica, said in a voice loud enough for the entire cabin to hear. Elena froze, her cheeks flushing. She looked up to find Erica standing at the edge of the aisle, her arms crossed and a stern expression on her face. "I'm just feeding my daughter," Elena said quietly, trying to keep her voice steady. "I understand that," Erica replied, "but this is first class. We have to think of the other passengers." Her eyes flicked to the man sitting across the aisle, who gave an uncomfortable glance but said nothing. Elena felt her heart race, the weight of the attention growing heavier by the second. "She's hungry," Elena whispered, trying to explain, but Erica's expression remained unmoved. "You'll need to cover up more or move to the back," Erica insisted, raising her voice slightly. "If you can't follow the policy, I'll have to ask you to move to a different area." Maya stirred under the blanket, but Elena didn't respond. She didn't argue. Instead, she reached for her phone with a trembling hand and sent a quick message to her husband, Marco. "She told me to stop feeding Maya, first class, seat 1A. No one spoke up. No one intervened. Elena, though she was not invisible, knew that Erica had just made a critical mistake. Elena placed her phone face down, trying to steady her breath. She glanced out the window, her heart still racing. She could feel the tension in the air, but she remained composed. Erica returned to the galley, smirking slightly as she passed through. Another flight attendant, a woman named Rachel, gave her a questioning look. "What's going on?" Rachel asked, concern in her voice. "It's nothing," Erica replied dismissively. "Just a mom getting too comfortable. This isn't a place for that." Rachel raised an eyebrow, but said nothing. Meanwhile, Elena's phone buzzed. It was Marco, his message short and firm. "What seat? Who's in charge?" She typed back quickly. 1A. "Erica told me to stop feeding Maya. Sent me to the bathroom." Another message came through. "Don't move. I'll take care of it." Elena set her phone aside and adjusted the blanket over Maya, ensuring she was comfortable. She didn't know what Marco would do, but she trusted him to handle it. In the cockpit, the pilot, Captain Drake, was reviewing the flight systems when his phone rang, a direct call from ground operations. It was an unusual call. He answered immediately. "Captain Drake here." "Captain, this is operations. We've received a report from Mr. Valdez, co-owner of your airline. He says there's been a misconduct issue with his wife and a flight attendant. He's requesting that Erica be brought to the cockpit immediately." Captain Drake glanced at his co-pilot, a silent exchange passing between them. He nodded and pressed the intercom. "Lead attendant Erica, please report to the cockpit." Erica's face fell when she heard the tone, a stark contrast to the casual way she had been behaving earlier. She adjusted her uniform and walked slowly toward the cockpit, her confidence now gone. The passengers barely noticed, but Elena did. In the cockpit, Captain Drake looked at Erica with a serious expression. "Erica, we've received a complaint from Mr. Valdez. His wife, Elena, was told to stop feeding her child. Is that accurate?" Erica straightened, her eyes wary. "Yes, Captain. I followed protocol." She was exposed. "I thought it might make other passengers uncomfortable." "Did she have a blanket?" Captain Drake asked. "Yes," Erica replied. "Then did she break any rules?" "Technically, no," Erica said, her voice softening. A cold voice cut through the tension. It was Marco's coming through the intercom. "That is my wife you embarrassed. Not because of your policy, but because of your assumptions." Erica's face drained of color. "You didn't need to know who she was," Marco's voice continued, calm but cutting. "But you should have treated her like any other passenger. Instead, you made her feel ashamed. That's not policy. That's prejudice." The silence in the cockpit was heavy. "Erica, you will go back to the cabin," Captain Drake said. "If Elena wants to move, escort her. If not, remain silent. Upon landing, you'll meet with the executive board. Erica nodded, her confidence shattered, and left the cockpit. Back in the cabin, Elena remained in her seat, her demeanor calm. She didn't react to Erica's return. She didn't look up. Erica paused beside Elena, this time speaking softly. "Elena, I owe you an apology," she said, her voice barely above a whisper. "I misjudged the situation, and I regret my behavior." Elena slowly looked up at Erica, her gaze sharp yet composed. "You think it was a misunderstanding?" Erica hesitated, clearly uncomfortable. "I misjudged you." Elena's voice was soft but firm. "You judged me out loud. You assumed I didn't belong here. That wasn't policy. That was your choice." Erica flushed, visibly embarrassed. "You're right. I was wrong. I'm sorry." Elena adjusted the blanket over Maya, then looked up again, meeting Erica's eyes. "Apology accepted. But remember, your tone speaks louder than your words." Erica nodded, the weight of the moment sinking in. She walked away, her head down, as the passengers around her remained silent, watching her every move. As the plane began its descent, Elena exhaled deeply. Maya had fallen asleep in her arms. The tension in Elena had started to dissolve, but something had shifted, both in her and in the atmosphere of the cabin. Marco's message came through again. Security will meet her. Review and progress. Elena texted back. "Don't make it personal. Make it policy." Later, after the plane had landed, 2 security officers entered the cabin and called Erica by name. She stood and walked down the aisle under the watchful eyes of everyone. But there was no applause, no cheers, just silence. No one helped her, but no one offered sympathy either. As she passed Elena, their eyes met briefly. Elena remained unmoved, silent, yet powerful in her stillness. Back in the executive boardroom, Marco was addressing the issue. Erica sat small in her chair, her pride completely stripped away. "Why her?" Marco asked, his voice calm but piercing. "She didn't look like the others," Erica whispered, barely audible. That, Marco thought, was the truth, the whole truth. 10 years, Marco said, 10 years of quiet judgment, but today you picked the wrong woman. The board voted to suspend Erica, pending further review. Meanwhile, Elena sat alone in the lounge, still cradling her baby. There were no celebrations, just quiet reflection. Marco joined her, his expression thoughtful. "You know why she did it, right?" Marco asked softly. Elena nodded. "She didn't know who I was. That's why she thought she could get away with it," Marco replied. "What if it wasn't me?" Elena mused. "What if it was someone else?" Marco pulled out a draft policy on passenger rights and protections. "No more assumptions. No more judgments." Elena read the document carefully. "Make the message louder than my silence," she said softly. The next few weeks saw sweeping changes in the airline. A new standard, new training. The infamous first-class moment became a case study. Other airlines began to follow suit. Elena stayed quiet, not seeking fame, but embodying the quiet strength that spoke volumes. When she was finally invited to speak to the new crew, her message was clear. "I'm not here to shame anyone," Elena told them. "I'm here to ask you to see." And they did. Erica, now out of a job, sent Elena a final message. "I never yelled. I didn't shame you. I just realized what I had become. I'm sorry, not because I lost my job, but because I finally saw." Elena's reply was simple. Change matters most when it comes from the people who once caused harm. Looking down at Maya asleep in her crib, Elena whispered to herself, "One day, you'll understand why I didn't let it go." Outside the boardroom, a new sign was unveiled, the Elena Standard. She smiled, closed her laptop, and whispered, "Call it what you want. I'll just keep doing the work." And with that, the future took flight, not just for Elena, but for every quiet voice that had ever been overlooked.